without doing those things, all of this is just a good idea. That's sort of putting it in negative terms. But without doing practice, without any kind of practice, whether it be a long retreat or a daily practice, if it's not a consistent clearing away of the habit that we have to not be clear, then it's like reading one more great book about the truth, but when push comes to shove, it can't help us. You know, many of the great traditions say great things. There's no corner on the market, there's no special secret, it's all out there. You know, Jesus Christ said, love your neighbor as yourself. That's the same thing as sentient beings are numberless, we vow to save them all, right? But how do you love your neighbor, or how do we love our neighbor as ourselves, if we experience our neighbor as separate from ourselves? Then I'm here, and you're there, and I may like you, and it's easy to help you, or I may not like you, and I don't want to help you. And it's subject-object, you know. When we practice, then we realize down into our being that this neighbor and self thing is not separate. So just in the same way as if you cut your arm, you don't have to stop and think about whether or not you're going to put a bandage on that, right? It's just an automatic thing. Boom, stop this bleeding. And in that same way, if our neighbor is hurting, it's the same. How can I help you? Automatic. We can't do that from here. We can't do that from books. It just doesn't work that way. It becomes, our true self can't function from here. So if we practice, then we get the experience of not knowing directly. And this don't know energy is what operates this whole universe perfectly. In this world, and every time a lemon tree grows, it never produces an orange. It never makes a mistake. You know, every time you see a dog, that dog is going to be true to its dog nature, right? Right? Never says meow. Water always flows to the sea. Only human beings, only we don't know what to do. We don't know what is our job. And this is because our don't-know minds are buried with this layers of stuff we have to do and research and habit and thinking. And actually our true self is there. It's just covered up. And in all parts of this universe, it's working flawlessly except for us. And this is why we can benefit greatly when we practice, because when we practice, we become one with the universe as it is, and then our true self can function flawlessly too. And when we're separate by our thinking, then I have my idea, you have your idea, my idea is better than your idea, I'll kill you. All this conflict and war and greed and starvation and all these things appear because I, my, me. So long retreat, short retreat, any kind of practice that we can do will help us to remember this. The momentum of the habit force of thinking is so strong that it's difficult for us to remember unless we clear the space. We have to clear the space. At least most of us do. I'm sure there's the rare person out there here and there who doesn't have to, but I have yet to meet them. All the most wonderfully enlightened and clear and kind people that I've met practice hard. It was no accident, you know. And that came from just sitting every day. What am I? Don't know. Then something else is running you. You know, we say it's like a cow with no nostrils. These Zen expressions are so, we think they're very esoteric. So you hear like a cow with no nostrils, and we think, oh, that's that mysterious Zen stuff. But really, it's very common sense. A cow with no nostrils means you can't put a ring in there. You know? And when you have a ring in your nostril, then you can be pulled around by your likes and your dislikes and your ideas and everything. no nostrils, no ring, then you're free. So if you sit, then you can be like the cow with no nostrils.